What's going on, y'all? It's JD Pickell. Today on the Hard Count, Brent Venables said, "What?" And some sad news. Next. Welcome into CFB with JD, the People's Channel. Everything you know, everything you love about college football happens here on a nearly daily basis. Armstrong Sims, Jack McKenzie doing the heavy lifting. Help drive the show at my Twitter page, at JD Pickell. Make sure you stay tuned till the end of this episode to understand why I just sighed there and why we got the intro where we do and how we do. But Brian Clinton of Heartland College Sports has a great article out talking about Brent Venables and what he had to say about the attitude of Oklahoma heading into their bowl preparation. And the quote reads as such. He says, quote, "We're starting over. We're stripping this bad boy down to the studs." Went on to say, "I saw too much casualness, if you will." Again, this is in regards to the preparation for Oregon. He says, "Too much on nonchalantness when I came in December to watch the team prepare for the bowl game." One, nonchalantness is a phenomenal vocab word. Pretty sure you score some sort of ACT points for that. But this quote tells me a lot. Like, yes, it's a fun headline, and it's cool to say, okay, awesome, they're not going to be nonchalant, this, that, and the other. But it's a tone setter. It's a tone-setting quote if you're an Oklahoma fan. I think it affirms you in a lot of way of the attitude you expect Oklahoma to have going forward. Like, Oklahoma is going to be a blue-collar team. They're going to play tough on defense. They're going to run the football well. They're going to be balanced. They're going to put Dylan Gabriel in good passing situations. And that was stuff that we talked about ad nauseum, really even since he got hired. We talked about a new attitude. But for him to come out and say this, I think just confirms the speculation and the thought that Oklahoma is going to look different. Anytime you get a head coach that you didn't have before, obviously the team will look different. But to speak to the attitude, to speak to the inner workings in the pieces that make up this team, the attitude that this team's going to have, to say that's going to look different, I think Oklahoma fans feel validated. On the flip side of that, it also, in a lot of ways, kind of exposes the culture that was there previously. I'm not here to sit in this video and talk bad about Lincoln Riley. People that know this channel know how I feel about that hire for USC. I think both schools probably benefit ultimately. And also, whenever a head coach leaves and he's not coaching you in the bowl game, it kind of feels like, okay, we're with the babysitter, right? Anytime you're left because your parents went out to eat or whatever it is and the babysitter's there, you're probably going to be on some questionable behavior. Maybe you tell them, yeah, no, mom and dad would let us eat candy at 9 p.m. at night. That's what they let us do. I don't know if that was exactly the case, but I think there could be some traces of that for the bowl game. That's as far as I'll go on that. But the thing that stuck out to me potentially the most about this quote is the timing of it. You don't say something like this if it's still something you're dealing with. If you're still dealing with the nonchalantness of your team, or you're feeling like they're not necessarily revamped in their culture, you don't expose this to the media. Let me give you an example. If you're not good with your left hand as a basketball player, you don't come out in the pregame press conference and say, yeah, my left hand's not very good. Hope they don't take it away. You say it after you've been in the gym for hours and you've worked on that weakness and you've developed more your left hand, and now you can go both ways. You say, yeah, I used to be pretty bad with my left hand, but now I drilled it. I committed to getting better at it. I committed to changing that, and now I can go either way. I'm good with both hands. Same thing with Brent Venables. If he felt like this was an issue, he wouldn't have told the media, yeah, we're a nonchalant bunch. I hope we're okay when they step out there on the first game. I hope we're ready to play on that first Saturday. No, that's not the case. So this, to me, between the lines, says it's a different program. We're a different team than we were when I took over and they were getting ready to play Oregon. So Oklahoma fans should feel validated, and they should feel excited and optimistic about the way this is going to look. Now, the beautiful part about this is I think you're going to get a really good litmus test weeks 3 through 5 right before Texas. Obviously, Texas will tell you a lot, but I think you're going to find out about this team before then. Here's what you got games 3, 4, and 5. You go to Nebraska, and you say Nebraska was 3-9 last year. Yeah, they were the best 3-9 team in the country. Lost 8 games by 1 score, and the 9th one, I think they lost by 9 points. So Nebraska is going to be a tough out. Much less you got to go to Lincoln. You kidding me? You better bring the juice. You better not be nonchalant walking into Lincoln, Nebraska, because they're going to have something for you. That's going to be really telling. Also, you get Kansas State at home the next week. So you go home to Norman, regroup, ideally got out of Nebraska with the win. You go home and say, okay, well, now we got to play the Cats. Got to play the Power Cats. And if you know anything about Kansas State, they've been the same team for the last 15 years. They've had different coaches, different players, but they are going to play physical, and they are going to beat the heck out of you in a phone booth. If you show up nonchalant in that game, you're leaving with an L. That's just the way it works. You can't show up to be lackadaisical and be nonchalant against the Kansas State football team. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. You just can't roll the ball and play that way. So that's going to be a great litmus test to see, okay, are we going to walk out, play physical? Are we going to answer when Kansas State punches us in the mouth? When Adrian Martinez on 4th and 2 runs quarterback power, barrels his shoulder down, picks up the first down, are we going to respond to that? Because if you don't, you're in for a long game. And a nonchalant football team will be in for a long game and not respond to that. So I'm excited to see that game as well. Game 5, you go to TCU. And you say, okay, TCU, new head coach. Are we really worried about that? Well, you should be, because that's a huge question mark. You don't know what this TCU team's going to be made of. New staff, new look offensively. They're going to try and be high flying. They're going to be out the gate pretty quick, okay? So it's going to be a different tempo than Nebraska, a different tempo than Kansas State. And for that very reason, the way that they are the yin to those two teams' yang, that's going to test Oklahoma. Because if you can play in a phone booth and you're able to match up well with Kansas State, that's great. That's a very different test than having to play a high-flying offense of what Sonny Dykes is going to bring to the table. So I'm excited to watch that. I think these three teams offer a blend of different flavors of challenge for Oklahoma. And so for that reason, I think right before Texas, you're going to learn a lot about your football team and be in a really good position to have your identity solved before the Red River Shootout. So that's the content. That's what we want to talk about on this video. But this video is very, very bittersweet for reasons I'm about to disclose. You hear me talk all the time. Armstrong Sims, Jack McKenzie doing the heavy lifting. Well, Armstrong Sims will no longer be a part of this operation moving forward. He has since seen greener pastures. He's getting married, and he is on to bigger and better things. And it does not feel like an adequate setting to thank Armstrong enough for what he's done for this program and this channel, and for me personally as a friend and a coworker. Cannot say enough good things about him. Every single day, a professional, someone who cares about the work that is being done, someone that I'm forever grateful for the way that he has taken this to new heights, and someone that I'm very proud to call myself a friend and a former coworker of his. So Armstrong, for everything you've done for this program and for everything you've done for me personally, I'm very grateful. I'm excited for you and for the next stage of your life, man. It's going to be an absolute blast. So I love you, brother. Appreciate all you do. Follow him on Twitter, @ArmstrongSims, 2 M's in the Sims. You won't be sorry about it. That's it for us here. Subscribe to the channel. Follow Armstrong on Twitter. We'll keep the party rolling. See y'all next time.